Hi guys, it's me, Jocelyn Fina again, and for this video that I will be dedicating to the holiday season in December of 2005, I shall be discussing the movie Transformers Dark of the Moon, which is the third movie in the Transformers franchise by Michael Bay. It's also the last movie that I've ever previously seen on Netflix before today. So this is kind of special because I can't remember certain aspects of the movie from when I watched it a long time ago to now. And before I start this discussion about the movie, yes, they do make reference to Pink Floyd's a very, very famous album, The Dark Side of the Moon, in this movie. But this is something that I noticed with these Transformers movies so far, is that they all deal with conspiracy in American pop culture. For example, the first one dealt with aliens among us and aliens are we alone in the universe. Obviously, the Transformers being aliens themselves, the answer is yes, we are not alone in the universe. The second movie, Revenge of the Fallen, dealt with the conspiracy theories around Egypt and aliens. There's a connection between them. So yeah, there is that almost in it because it takes place partly in Egypt. And in this one, it covers the moon landing. I know people were saying that it was fake. It was meaning movie set. Blah 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 blah, which is false. But Transformers uses that idea in the movie. Not the fact that it's fake or anything, but the fact that it was that Cybertronians visited our space at one point or another, just like the other movies. But in this one, they implanted something in the moon that would move Cybertron from one point to another point and destroy our real plugins, blah blah blah, all that other stuff too. But also, one other thing that's quite cool in this movie is that with every new addition to the Transformers movie franchise, they always add new characters to it. Obviously, they appeal to people like me, like cars, toys, and other robotics and kaiju and all that stuff too. So, we'll see one of the big ones last, because that's the big addition to this movie and the franchise as a whole. But, we have we have the new one character that's a true to humanity, played with Patrick Dempsey. And then we have the other surprise character, which turned out to be an Autobot that defected to Decepticons. Kind of the opposite of what that us Blackbird guy did in the second movie. And it's so cool. And they also have the return of that weird Transformer that was made of a little RC monster truck. And they they also have another one of the companions, but the same size like an Einstein robot. And then we also have, oh yeah, I don't know if this counts as a character or not, but Optimus Prime was designed to be a truck trailer, a semi-truck trailer. So all during the first and second movies, we've seen him as a proud all-black commander, but with just a semi-portion of his truck, but with no actual trailer to go with it. And this one they finally have a trailer, much like in the original cartoon run of the show, which is like really awesome, and I applaud them for that. So I don't know if that would count as a civil character or not, but it's still a nice treat. It still doesn't transform into anything of note, except for maybe transporting some pillow cargo, which I'll get into in a moment. But it is really nice to see that. And it is really nice to see that they put some effort into it. And the trailer by help looks heavy. It's not just a regular box like the trailers that we see in other stuff in real life. But in the cartoon and the actual playset that came with Optimus Prime in it with the trailer, it was more like a mobile base for the Autobots. So it's not that in this one, unfortunately. That would have been a great toy promo. But let's see here. Oh yeah, there's no more of that weird space robot from the second movie too. I forgot what his name was, if he even had a name. The one that's supposed to be with the Hubble Space Telescope. So none of him either, for whatever reason. But then they also have a new character called Sentinel. And he's supposed to be like this. He's supposed to be like related to Optimus Prime, like a previous leader of the Autobots or some or other. And it's all about defending the Cybertron and bringing it back to life and all that stuff. So anyway, we also get some nice little pose with Amir from Sam Witwicky's parents. And you get Sam and his new European model girlfriend get into an argument, which I have no idea why this guy is having so many hot girlfriends, the perfect tense for everybody. But in any case, the thing of it is that they get into an argument over something, and he brings up to his parents, so very awkwardly they start explaining to him. And it's funny that the father says, "Son, when you get in an argument with your woman, the woman is always right." And that's true, happy wife, happy life. So to say that one's actually true. Now, I have to ask a question, this was made before gay marriage was legal. So if you have two men in a relationship, who would be the woman in that case? And likewise, who would be the woman in that case if they were two lesbians that got married, would be the more feminine of the two for both sets of gays and lesbians? That's an interesting question. But I like the way I really like the way Megatron is designed in this generation, because he's like an old army vehicle, but the only thing is that there's like a top on the vehicle. But when he transforms into the robot form, he transforms with top on, like the Master Chief in the Halo 5 Guardians promo. And what I mean by that is they wear like a cape, like a top, like a cape, and it's flopping in the wind like almost Jewish light. So it's really cool. Really cool. I gotta give him that for God. But of course they have Starscream in it too. And he gets it in the end. Now also to point out is that there's one of many battles in there, and they have one robot. I forgot which side it's on because it's a little confusing to see there's all visuals going on there. But he's got a fight and he flips his hand like this, or like downwards like that, to flip off a car or something in the road. And what's really funny is that the car is meant to go flying like that, like ballistic flying, like in there's a Los Angeles. But when he does go full swing, he moves the car like a little bit, and not because it's slow motion or anything like that, but it's just I think they miscalculated that a little bit, more or less. But anyway, what do we call it? Sentinel wants to bring up Cybertron to Earth space. So to do that, he could gather a bunch of pillars together. And it turns out that he and Patrick Dempsey's character are working with the Decepticons. I have no idea why Patrick Dempsey is doing that. I think maybe it's the same idea as it's better to be at the right hand of the devil than in his path. Like in the Mummy Returns, like in the Mummy with Betty and stuff like that. So it's better to be on the force of Megatron and be spared than to be destroyed, or be a slave, or whatever the case is. Anyway, it's kind of weird. But anyway, they have the Chicago, they have a big fight in Chicago where I apologize that the first movie in the franchise, I thought that this movie took place in Chicago, but probably in New York City, for example. But this is definitely in Chicago. Because everything gets wrecked and ruined and everything else. And some of the pillars are being helped by Optimus Prime on his big rig trailer. So that's what it opens up into. The magical cargo that I mentioned before. But in any case, Sentinel wants to bring over Cybertron into the world, into the Earth space, And to do that, he had to play the Autobots for suckers and then get moved off the planet. Now, he did so good in that they tell the Autobots the fall guy so that the U.S. government says remove to get off our planet. The funny thing is that they go on the shuttle and they do that what you call it, crawler, that big platform that goes up to the shuttle with Autobots on it. I would think that the Autobots could make it go slow, but I don't know, it goes like 1 mile an hour. Hell, I can walk faster than that. And I'm not even talking about my scooter. I can really walk that my walker much better than that. So anyway, that's pretty epic to see that, and it's even more epic to have real life hero. One of my inspirations, Buzz Aldrin, in there. It's like I worked on the moon, so therefore I'm an expert on it, that type of thing. So anyway, they have him on there, and they mention about the dark side of the moon with this weird mechanical burrow worm. Kind of remember me a cross between the BattleBot robot that was the giant worm with a big mouth on it, and remember that weird monster there, the asteroid worm. I don't know if they gave it a name or not in Star Wars. So anyway, they have that there. And then you find out later on that the Autobots were up on this planet were just making the government and the people around them think that they went to outer space. They thought they were successfully exiled into outer space, like in Twisted Metal 2 with Captain Roberts getting a brother from the wreckage of its car from the first game. So anyway, there's one thing I gotta pay note to here is that whenever the Autobots or the Decepticons are in like a desert area or when they're in like rubble area, you can tell the CGI. But the thing is that whenever they have these CGI type moments in the ground and stuff, they never actually leave any footprints or they don't disrupt any of the debris and all that. I'm just saying that if you can have big giant robots crunching around the sand, you might want to have some kind of proof that they were there so that the eye can put together that there was something there. Our brain can figure out there was a giant beast or robot there. I'm just saying. So anyway, they had that. And then they have, you see that, what we call Sentinel, old friend of Megatron. They knew each other. When they friends, they're more like rivals than anything. Because they fought one another at one point. And even Sentinel, even hold Megatron's head like you give him a nugget or something. He says, "I will work with you to bring Cybertron here, but I will never work for you." Got that? So he got Megatron has a big axe grind against Sentinel because he wants to be the ruler of the Decepticons, and that thereby the rest of the Autobots defeated all Cybertronians himself. Just one person. That's it. No more room for anybody else. Just him. So anyway, they show that they have this weird transport there, so they decide to test out the transporter on something relatively small. So they bring this burrow worm from the moon to Chicago. Let me tell you, it is a playground of destruction because almost no building isn't destroyed or maimed in some way, and they keep referencing Trump Tower. Now, this is made well before Trump's little takeover of the government, even on the first Go Island. But I still would like to see, in depth the destruction of this precious tower in Chicago. Because even before he became president, he still clung around with Jeffrey Epstein. We all know how big of a mess that got him into. Among other problems too. So I would give it anything. I would give my two lung nuts to see this place get destroyed. But unfortunately, we don't see it on screen. It's only implied to be destroyed in the wreckage. Which is really important because my lung nuts were just waiting to take it all because of it. But they weren't. Thank God for that. Anyway, yeah. Now, this is after Sentinel Prime becomes a turns trigger to the Autobots, and he activates his side of the portal, and that burrow machine ends up wreaking havoc on the buildings in the streets of Chicago, which is deliciously good. The destruction is Shift Kiss. What's the whole Trump Tower thing? By the way, I wonder how much a building would, how much a destruction of a whole building like that would be. Would it be in the trillions or just in the billions? Whatever. So anyway, I'm trying. There's this one line. Line is, Optimus, you never understood this on principle. The needs of the many will always outweigh the needs of the few. Well, like, that sounds familiar. And so does the voice. And then when I look up on the cast and credits on there, they said, no way they got let Nimoy take the voice to him. Let's see here. What other famous sci-fi franchise with Leonard Nimoy in? Let me think. I know someone two choices to make here. Let's see here. Oh yeah, he was in the latest movie. Oh yeah, he was the guy in Star Trek, Dr. Spock, or I should say Mr. Spock. and it just now I am playing the psychiatrist, but when I'm recording this video, it turned out to be the beginning of Hanukkah for this year, and Leonard Nimoy was Jewish. R.I.P. to him. Oh, he deserves mad respect for everything he did. But in any case, the thing that he does with his hands and the thing I can do for obvious reasons, that was inspired by some Jewish, gesture or something. I don't know what it's called, but it's based on something from them. So congratulations for that. Anyway, they have this guy Central Prime, which actually kind of looks a little bit like him. I'm not gonna lie, he looks a little bit like Nimoy, and it's pretty damn cool. I believe that the character that he plays is based on a Ferrari. I'm not sure about that, but also I think that Michael Bay got like a contract for like cars, I think, car company to put their cars in the movies. So that's so nice. In any case, they have the army in there with Josh Duhamel from all the movies so far, and Tyrese Gibson, and they do a pretty good job in not getting back to the Decepticons, not chewing them, but just giving knockback damage and all that. So that's something nice. I don't think you see that in the cartoon where they just do like almost do like really heavy weapons like missiles and other things like that. They really don't do any damage, and they do pig damage, like when they do chip damage on a Pokemon game. So in any case, they had these guys that want to kill not back in Megatron to the ground. He's like, oh my god, all this. Meanwhile, Sam with his girlfriend ends up telling them to appeal to his problem weakness to be number one ruler of the Earth and Cybertron. We all gotta get to that in a moment too. But anyway, they have it where she said, you'll never be equal to Sentinel Prime. You're just Sentinel's bitch. So Megatron actually remembers what happened with the time Noogie that the Sentinel gave him, like, this girl is right. I'm never gonna beat him. So, Sentinel was actually beating the crap out of Optimus Prime. So it's kind of a legacy like being beat down, like almost like a father and son type rivalry. Where the code of a matrix of responsibility gets passed down from one prime to another prime and all that. He ends up he is ending up beating the tar out of Optimus Prime. It's kind of hard because he's so noble and so righteous and stuff. Even though he does do quite a bit of killing in these movies, Optimus Prime with that sword and the axe, which are awesome by the way. He kills the giant minor worm there. He kills a lot, a lot of the foreign enemies in the second movie and the first movie just like him do. Which I don't know how I feel about that, but you gotta do what you gotta do. You're leader and you gotta make sure that the bad guy don't kill anybody else. That's unnecessary. But since he kicks his little robot ass and he chops off his real arm, and is about to finish the job, and then Megatron comes up behind him and very savagely beats the shit out of poor Sentinel. I say poor because I genuinely feel sorry for this poor guy after getting beat up like this, and his heart's being ripped out and everything else. And then when he even gets part of his spine ripped out too, and it's like, are we really doing that? Are we doing the get over here from Mortal Kombat? So anyway, they have when Optimus comes to and he kills I think Megatron, the one with the spine coming out. Yeah. And then you see his head bouncing around out there into the top of the bridge or in the ocean. With the big water. And then you see Optimus taking a shotgun. Yeah, the Transformers have shotguns, not like regular human weapons. So he pulls. He says, "Oh, we're trying to help out the Cybertron and all of that." And then he says, "Something cool and catchy, and blow the crap out of Sentinel." And may I just say, it's very good that Optimus has his face mask on to get the tour, and then you get the face mask, which is more fancy than anything else. Anyway, it's funny that when trying to transport Cybertron through this big dimensional portal that Sentinel and Patrick Dempsey set up on Earth, and that he quickly do it on I think it's on Cybertron itself, which is actually real good because Cybertron, I thought it was always a cube type planet from the cartoon, like I thought. So they have it actually reminds me of the planet from the game Prey, but only robotic and metal, of course. So anyway, this thing is massive. It comes with a hole in the type of world of space and stuff. But to me, it looks like a big hemorrhoid coming out of an ass. Is that what when Family Guy said that it looks like Jane's blowing a bubble, and that's like what looks like a big giant zit coming through the planet. But when everything gets disrupted by Sentinel and the others, the pillars getting destroyed or whatever, or disrupted, they say. It looks like the planet implodes on itself. And another thing too is that I don't know how this would affect the Earth. You know, how the debris from something imploding like that would affect things on our planet. And I don't know how having something that big come into our lunar orbit, something that big with gravity and tides and wouldn't make like objects float towards it and all that. But in this one they don't show any effects towards it. So I don't think that Michael Bay or the others will think about that at this point. So anyway, he showed all that, and then they show that they were this clowns apparent all across the world. So you're all about to win. Optimus is prepared, and everything's all copacetic. Bumblebee still has a little problem and can't talk right. And they even played up in the last movie, they played two clips of Forrest Gump from his movie. And then they show about happy stuff. We hope that this type of technology will be used for something else. And that the remains of the Sentinel Prime and the other bad guys are disposed of quite really. And that's about it. It's a good movie. They had John Turturro come back from being an ex-fired FBI agent, which I have no idea how you go from the top FBI agent to nothing to another guy again. By the way, I like his power chair in the movie when he's got in a car accident, even though we all know that he probably would have been dead if the accident had happened to him in real life. But because the movie is just in the wheelchair forever and ever. And let's see, I enjoyed the movie. Leonard Nimoy is always a treat. It's always a treat. Unfortunately, he passed away. So it's right here. So I thank you for watching my video on Transformers Dark Side of the Moon, which I thought was the name of the evil character in Sailor Moon Season 3. You know, with the black crescent moon on their foreheads. I did this for a holiday season up to December in 2095 because it did toys, both cars and robots, so you can have all the playset toys. And by the way, Patrick Dempsey dies in this movie because Sam Witwicky hits him in the head with a giant pillar with a giant piece of concrete. And I love the way they have the robots fighting the robots, and the women fighting the women in this movie. You know, Wicky's girlfriend fights somebody, and then they fight with Wicky and Patrick Dempsey. That was actually pretty funny. See, yeah, that's my happy face is Liverpool because I love robot fight. I love robot violence. And this movie is pretty cool. For the look good. Anyway, if you like what you see here and you want to see more of my stuff, You can always like, comment, share, and subscribe to my channel. You can also contact me for future video information by calling me or texting me at 631-707-3707. And if you like, you can also follow me on Twitter or X if you prefer. Call it that at PNelsonPro. And my email is jjsviewingchannel@gmail.com. So, salute you guys. Thank God my flop and skits are not returning back to the franchise anytime soon. So, yeah, because those kids are really dumb. I also like the fact that in the movie, I think it was Starscream that gets his eye removed. Very PG-13 by him with using a claw machine to grab his eye and yank it out of his body. Why can't repair himself? I have no idea. But anyway, that was a pretty good movie. I salute anyone that liked all the Transformers movies, cartoons, cars, robots, whatever, what have you. And so I would like to wish everyone a Merry Christmas, Happy Hanukkah, Happy Kwanzaa, Ramadan, and Happy Holidays and Happy New Year's. So, peace out, my brothers and sisters. I'll see you in the next video. All you girls and guys in Finland. Sayonara. Miasen. Ciao, ciao. And ta-ta for now.